Welcome to Makers International, a podcast of makers from 3 countries, 2 continents, and featuring 5 guys separated only by the same language. Here's your host, Richard Morley.
Hello, ho, and welcome to the Christmas Makers International podcast. Joined with me, as always, Mr. Chris Cute.
I thought you were going to call me your hoe. Okay. What's going on, people?
And Mr. Joe Whittaker.
You're right, Tom, yeah.
And busy, distracted by a mountain of bog roll, is Jamie Page.
How you doing?
So, this week's Christmas, very quickly, we'll better do the shout-outs, and it will be quick. So, this week's shout-outs and thank yous from last week go to Carl Jacobson, obviously our guest. Good luck with the mobile maker station, Carl. Fingers crossed. And Jamie, you're a bad man buying people scroll saws. And also Jake Thompson as well. So huge thank you to everyone, obviously, who watched and liked and shared us all across social media, etc., etc. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Yorkshire Grit, Woodturners Abrasive Paste. Visit yorkshire-grit.com. Our good friend Chad over at Mancrafting giving away those awesome Mancrafting mugs, and they really are awesome. And also Lizard Blanks for hybrid blanks molds. Visit lizardblanks.com, and you can find out all about all our sponsors on our website, makersinternationalpodcast.com/sponsors. Chris, do we have any random list of questions this week, dare I ask?
We do. And
okay.
But before I get to that, I just want to tell Jamie, just be glad that Richard isn't Santa Claus, because you would be on the naughty list for buying Carl Jacobson a scroll saw.
Forevermore. This is what it's come to, Chris. He's now having to bribe people to join Team Scroll Saw. Not
anymore. It's Team Scroll Turner.
Oh, Scroll Turner.
Oh, that works. I can live with that if you're gonna. But do the turners want to be tied with the same brush? That's what you got to ask yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a lathe as well, so yes, I do.
Our question this week, gentlemen. Richard is targeted towards you. Why is it at the start of each episode does Richard always ask Chris if there are any questions? Doesn't Joe or Jamie or Alan ever have anything, to offer? Or is Chris the only one you guys feel responsible enough to allow to answer them?
Well, I mean, essentially...
By the way, thank you for that. I love you.
Was that by Chris from any chance?
As a matter of fact, it was.
CC in Connecticut. Well, real or not, my answer to that is basically yes. Chris is the only one responsible. There is this illusion that I host the show, and I do not host the show. It's just that everybody else picked on me and said I'm the mouthy one, which if you've listened to any of the episodes, you've probably worked out for yourself by now. Joe is our editing guru, who's always telling me to shut up because I'm the gobby one, as I just said, and Jamie is our social media web expert. Only one. And Alan does all the looking after the accounts and all that kind of stuff. So Chris is the organised one because Chris is basically responsible for us because we're all irresponsible. So
which scare the hell out of you, which basically. I don't mind saying.
Although I do have a suspicion that Joe, Jamie, and Alan just give the questions when they see them to Chris. And
I don't.
No.
I wish that was true, Richard.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but that was the only question I had this week, and it was from Chris. So thanks, buddy.
Say no more. Well, thanks for listening to this week's show. That's kind of sort of it, isn't it? So, Jamie, are we doing something special this episode, or what's going on now?
Yeah, we're running for 3 hours long.
I think he was talking about our giveaway, Jamie. I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, that's why you never asked me any questions.
And there we have it.
Yes, for the past couple of weeks, we have had a giveaway running along. We had some a 2x2x3 bottle stopper mold, and a 24-ounce liquid diamonds resin donated to us by Lizard Blanks. So we did a giveaway of that. And today I am going to announce the winner. And the winner of that is entry number 96 from Aitken, South Carolina, Jamie Page. No, anyway. It's actually Charles Gant.
Charles. I know Charles. All right.
Nice
Congratulations.
one, Charles.
Charles Gant.
Well done.
So, well done,
That's a
Charles.
That's a killer prize too, by the way.
Yeah, so I shall pass on all your details. He's got a YouTube channel called Maker's Workbench, and he's also from the Make It Time podcast.
Great.
Awesome.
No.
I'm assuming, yeah. So he is a turner as well. That's
He's been doing a lot of turning lately. Yeah.
good stuff. I'll tell you what I like about this prize. What kind of struck me was this isn't a one-time thing with the mould.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing. It's like a tool in its own right, isn't it? It's something that's ongoing and.
Yeah.
It's invaluable. I'm really jealous of it. I mean, some of the moulds from Lizard Blanks myself. I mean, I've only done that table recently, like that resin table. That's my first kind of dipping my toe in the water of resin, so to speak. But now I really want to get into making blanks and stuff. So I might be having to. So I can't win on here for some reason.
And Jamie, I'm not very familiar, but I know you are. Those are quality molds too, aren't they? Those aren't like
They're like the best of the best. So I think I was talking to Jared from Lizard Blanks, and I think he said a sheet of the plastic he uses, which is like top quality, it is like $400 a sheet.
Ouch.
I think it's UHMW.
Yeah, UHMW plastic. It's literally nothing sticks to it.
If anyone's sorry, Chris, if anyone's looking for that I looked for UHMW, but it's polyethylene. If you go to a plastics supplier and ask for UHMW high molecular weight stuff, they won't know what you're talking about. You have to ask for high density polyethylene, and then they're like, "Yeah, we got that."
So, Jamie, just so why did we give that away and we didn't keep it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a very good question. I just tried tricking you and pretending I was from South Carolina, but it didn't work.
We could have shipped that back and forth to each other and used. All right, whatever. Congratulations, Charles. Hope you're friggin' happy.
We're not begrudging.
Sure.
Yeah. By the way, that resin tastes really nice.
Right.
Does it?
Try it.
Oh,
Just back up. It tastes nice.
Yeah, try it.
See, the obvious follow-on to question to that comment is why? How?
Because I'm jealous that he won.
oh.
No, I got you.
You're going to be eating a lot of prunes in the future. Let me put it that way. It's going to be you're going to have a lot of fiber intake happening if you want to be regular. All righty.
It'd make a fantastic mold, though. Imagine what would come out of that.
Oh my God.
Stick that on.
Cast resin
Stick
ice
the light
creams.
bulb on top.
Everyone's going to think we've been at the eggnog all day.
I think we already have. Oh my God, we're already talking about this. Christmas
let's
show,
just say
guys.
Christmas.
Come on. Ho, 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 ho.
Festive.
Today's show is brought to you by Winter Lager. All right, there you go. Merry Christmas.
And that explains the show so far. So,
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, we are doing the Christmas show. Obviously, I'm trying to read notes. So if I'm not looking at the screen there, and I'm looking at my notes there. So bear with me if you're watching and not. If you're watching live and not listening to this,
You've got nothing to worry about because so far this has been highly professional. I mean,
as always. Well, it's been to our usual high professional standard, I think.
Yeah, streamlined podcast, but just look.
Absolutely. It's going to be an easy edit this for you, Joe.
Yeah.
3 minutes done.
Hello, goodbye. 5 minutes long. There you go.
So here's something for a Christmas-related kind of ish makeup thing. So if if Santa was the richest man in the world, which presumably he is, because he's able to give away toys every year to every child, so he's obviously, the philanthropist type, and you could get anything you wanted, anything at all. And this is open to the people listening live, and even those that aren't. Comment to this, let us know. You could get anything you wanted from him, and as much of it as you'd like. What would you ask for? What's going to be on your Christmas lists this year? Jamie's obviously coal, because that's about what he's going to get from now on.
What's on my Christmas list? Probably a load of Baltic birch plywood and a load of festal stuff.
Anything in particular? No, come on, you've opened the can now. Anything? Because you can't just say.
Top of the range computer, probably something from Alienware.
I hear them good, there, man.
See, I'm not a Windows person. I don't actually. I'm an Apple. All my editing is Apple now. I've completely converted, so I couldn't tell you what a good Windows.
You have to get the new iMac Pro then. I was looking at the iMac Pro, deadly serious, because I heard about it coming out and everything like that. And then whenever Apple release a new computer, I always go and see how much would the top spec one be, because you can go through and add all the add-ons. And at the end, it was like £13,000 or something like that. So probably won't be getting that. I mean, you never know, but
how much was it?
Probably not. £13,000 with all the add-ons.
$13,000 computer.
Yeah, the base was $4,000.
I'll have to.
I'd be looking to go to work for SpaceX if I had a $13,000 computer.
Wow,
I'm launching rockets with that baby. Like, no friggin' way.
Also, another good thing, particularly with the Macs, is because from what I can understand, and I'm not a computer kind of person, I've never worked in IT or anything like that. And if you do, or you are, then feel free to correct me, because I am no doubt wrong. When you buy a Mac, there tends not to be like a cheap version. The base models always are, high spec is their sort of starting point. Does that make sense? So when they release a new, like the 2018 computers come out, the mid-range 2017s, the prices will drop, because it's like anything with computers that, as things advance, last week's stuff becomes cheaper, because, there's a 11 billion terabyte hard drive version, which is 3 times the cost of the one that's half its size. So that's not actually a bad thing with Macs, I don't think. So
okay, who cares? The Red Smith.
No one.
The Red Smith just said Santa is not actually paying the elves working for him. That's why he's the richest man on earth. And it's true. I heard that too. There was a vicious rumor about that. Santa too has once again offshored his work to a sweatshop in China, and that's how all the toys are made this year. So. I think Gerald's right.
That'd be a horror. Can you imagine being like the union rep for Santa's elves? That'd be the worst job imaginable, wouldn't it? The conditions that they obviously. It'd be a nightmare.
What was Herbie's boss name in Rudolph? That guy? Yeah, I think he was the union leader. He was the Herbie doesn't like to make toys.
So what would be on your Santa's list then, Chris?
God,
you know what? Something enormous to fill one of those workshop corners, obviously.
Yeah, right. I would actually like to have Santa deliver me to the shop that Richard thinks I have. I really don't know. I don't know, and I'm terrible about this. I don't know what. I've got everything I kind of need right now. A Lamborghini? I don't know. I have no idea. If Santa was the richest man in the world, let me think about that. Ask Jamie what he would want, and then I'll get back to you.
You mean Joe?
Or whoever. Well, okay, don't ask Jamie anything. Yeah, never ask Jamie anything. Go ahead, ask Joe.
Well, if it turns out, because Santa does the whole the 2 lists. So you've got the nice list and the bad people list. Well, if I'm on the nice list, then I've actually been looking at laser cutters, and I mainly blame Chad for this, because you see whenever he puts a video out and you just see what his laser can do, and it's like, oh. Well, I was looking, and I found a company in the UK, and I was thinking, right, this is going to be around £2,000 to £3,000. When you get an idea in your head of the price, and then you have to get a quote off them. They never put the price on the website. So I asked them about it, sent an email. We'll get back to you with the quotes. Great. I had a phone call, £8,000, and then And it's like, how do you turn around and like drop the bombshell that I didn't think it would be anywhere near that much? I was just like, I'm really sorry. I had this price in mind. I understand that that's not the case. But I had a look on eBay and I found one, and it's 1,900 quid. I could never afford it, but it seems to be closer to something realistic. So that would be on my Christmas list if it was possible. Because
Well,
it's
if Santa's the richest man in the world and he's, going to get you whatever you want, then go ahead and get the one for, 8,000. What the heck?
it might as well.
Yeah.
So do you want it as a standalone laser cutter?
Yeah, because what originally made me think of doing it was stupid, I know, but doing these glasses that I've been etching, and obviously a laser would be able to get a much sharper point, and you haven't got to mess about with peeling the stencils and stuff like that. But then when I was actually looking into what these CO2 lasers can do, as far as like the cutting depths that they can do and the different materials that they're able to deal with, it was like, well, hold on, this on its own could kind of be like a standalone business. Like you can argue that with the CNC as well. To be honest, I had the wrong idea with the CNC. I felt the exact same way as soon as I set up the X-Carve, thinking this is going to be great. It's going to be like so simple. Stick something in, get a finished product out. But it's a lot more work than you actually think. And the mess involved with it as well, and making sure everything's clamped down, and it's kind of a nightmare in a way. But as far as a laser, of course, there's no real need to hold anything securely because there's no moving parts touching the workpiece. It's clean. There's no sawdust, like all stuff like that. I don't know. It was one of those things where it's like if I won the lottery, or even like looking at getting a loan or something, if it could repay itself, like pay off the loan repayments with stuff coming off it. I don't know, but being Santa, I'm talking about Santa being rich and giving us anything. That's why I did that.
No, that makes sense. I mean, because when you said the laser, originally I was thinking of having the option to convert my X-Carve from a router head to a laser head, because you can get laser.
Yeah, you can stick them on modules as well, so you can use the dual, still keep them going. It's just that capable of etching glass. I may be wrong, but I don't think I'm capable of doing it, and the cutting depth isn't that great on them as well. So I mean, it's obviously a cheaper way, I think, than £400 to add on to the existing X-Carve. Yeah. So it's still a lot of money, but it's a lot more affordable.
It's less than £8,000 by nearly £8,000.
I know what I'd ask Santa for. I'd ask Santa for. Can I go?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I mentioned this on the group earlier in the week, and it's something that you'll never find in any of those videos that if you watch on YouTube about the 10 best things to buy a woodworker, the greatest gifts you'll ever can get for somebody who makes things. What I want from Santa, if he's the richest guy in the world, I want an endless supply of. Let me see, I do woodworking, so yeah, I want wood. Give me an endless supply of exotic, really nice timber to work with throughout the year. I'm a happy guy.
Until you said exotic timber, I was going to say those little blue pills should sort that out. Keep you going all year round.
I don't know about all year, but certainly half the night.
Keep taking up.
Wood from a tree, Joe.
Just as well, because if you don't,
didn't work. I went like this, a tree, Joe, and I went, don't even do that.
Well, that's right. But if you don't actually swallow them properly and they get stuck in your throat, you end up with a stiff neck. So it's not ideal.
Richard, please ask Jamie a question.
Well, I wanted to dive in a little deeper with Jamie's birch ply and Festool, because everyone thinks of Festool as quite a limited range of tools, but obviously they've got a massive range of tools, things that you probably didn't even know they made. So is there anything specific within there, Jamie?
I actually quite like their miter saw.
Right, yeah.
That's definitely something I would, if I was to get anything, it'd probably be the miter saw.
That's the Capex, right?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Because there's three. They do 3 miter saws. Well, actually, they do 4 or 5.
I can't remember.
The Capex, the sort of the woodworkers chop saw, miter saw. There's
I can't remember what video it was that I saw it in now. I think I honestly can't remember what one it was that I saw it in now.
But they are really good saws, though.
Yeah, I just want one that's dead on balls accurate is a better way of putting it. Baubles accurate.
Baubles
Sorry,
accurate.
it's Christmas.
I went for my first saw was an Evolution mitre saw, and it was accurate as I set it up at. So if I wanted to cut perfect 45s, I could, but it would take quite a while to, adjust it and double check it and set it and all the rest of it. But when I'm just saying, when you're working for money, and you can just
I'm not even saying that.
45, it's there.
I'm looking at the chat, Richard. That's what I was responding to Carl Jacobson, who said he wanted to have an endless supply of sandpaper. Carl. I don't think anybody loves to sand more than Carl. You know what? God bless him.
He's got a sanding song and a dance.
I know.
That's a useful tool in its own right, because sanding is dull. Nobody likes sanding.
Don't tell Carl that. Don't tell Carl that. He'll stop singing and dancing.
It's fine when you've only got to stand there and hold the sandpaper still, though. When you've actually got to move the sandpaper, that's when it gets tedious.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Carl does it so he enjoys it. He actually mixes the sandpaper with oil, so it's kind of
and wax too. Yes, he does.
Yeah,
because
get that ghost feeling going on.
I was going to say, also, all of a sudden it starts to get a little bit erotic, and maybe that's why he likes it. I don't know. No idea.
Lubricate as you stand. Like,
he pretends the wood is like a clay pot.
Are you sure this is an episode that we're doing for Christmas in honor of Christ's birth on the Maybe we should move. Maybe we should change something relatively quickly before we all go to hell.
It's a holiday full of innuendo anyway, so we should be okay.
Yeah, that's true too.
Why not?
There's that whole candy cane stick thing, but I won't get into that.
And let's face it, most of the shows end up devolving into some kind of innuendo anyway. So
cheers to that.
That is a normal thing. But I was sort of torn actually when Jamie said Festool, I had one idea, and then when Joe said laser, I had another idea, and I'm torn between one which is a toy and a vinyl cutter, because I'm sure people watching, listening, and you guys, definitely Joe will have seen Joe's glass etching.
Yes,
that he's been doing.
Okay. Shape or origin.
That was kind of going to be the Festool-y related tool. Yeah, that's definitely on my want list, because from a commercial point of view, I can make that pay for itself fairly quickly, I suspect. But Christmas isn't always about being practical and being hard-nosed. It's kind of an indulgent. If you can't splurge at Christmas, when can you? Is kind of my point. And a vinyl cutter, although actually that's got sort of potential business applications as well. But anyway, do you guys know that Joe uses a vinyl cutter to make his stencils for doing his glass etching? Right?
Yes, Ebenezer, we know. Yes.
I don't have a vinyl cutter, and I don't have the facilities to etch. So I asked Joe would he be able to do me a sticker? I sent him the image, and I've just dropped it on the floor. Sorry, Joe. Not the glass, don't worry. Give me this sticker, which is a crest for the Royal Air Force. But because I can't sandblast, I've got to use it's like a cream. I think you put it on. Hopefully it'll work. I don't know. Otherwise it'll be a complete fail. And I'm going to do this onto a mirror. But then I was thinking, I really want a vinyl cutter now. And then when Joe said about the laser, and I thought, you can attach that to the X-Carve. Do you know you can get a drag knife for the X-Carve, for CNC machines? It's like an X-Acto blade, which is on like it's held down by gravity, so it's weighted. And then you put the vinyl onto the board, and it is on like bearings. So when you turn and do your X and Y movements, the blade goes and then does the curves, like as if you were using it like in a scalpel. Does that make sense?
So it's always cutting in the right direction. It swivels, kind of thing.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was available.
So imagine the wheel on a shopping trolley in the supermarket. Yeah,
no,
when you it's like that, but it's like an X-Acto blade that has that sort of turning ability.
I understand, but see, and this is where I guess having a really having a dead flat level wasteboard is going to become real important, because you're talking about, because in a block of wood that's 3/4 of an inch thick, if you're off a little bit, and you're routing out something, you're never going to notice it. But you're talking about cutting a piece of vinyl, and if that thing's not level, you're going to have a blade that's going to be missing in spots, because it's
well, this is the thing, because it's weighted down with gravity. It's like, when people use they've put pens into X-carves and they put them in a tube.
Yeah.
So if the board's on a slight angle, the pen just follows it up, doesn't it? And then the weight of gravity, as it goes back down, it keeps it in contact with the board. So
yeah,
even if it's off ever so slightly, the blade will kind of track up a hill and along and back down, because gravity is always making it in contact with the vinyl.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. All right,
I looked into one of these a few years ago, and just like the Laserhead, they're like 300-400 quid. They're really expensive, but imagine having that with a laser and a router in like a Shapeoko or an X-carve or any of these CNC machines. That would be awesome.
I think for that price though, with such as if you're saying it's around that £300 mark for the attachment to go onto the X-carve, you would be much better having a dedicated vinyl cutter, because, like, for example, mine can do, I think it's just over 2 foot, but it can do like an unlimited length, because like you can just keep pulling the roll through, as opposed to on a fitted bed, you're then limited to the size that your wasteboard is. So you can just keep pulling a roll through, kind of thing.
So you can do like long posters and like banners, but you couldn't necessarily do tall banners, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, but you can cut it up and you can stick them together with the transfer tape. So say, such as I could do a 2 foot by 10 meter long piece, and then just tape on another 2 foot wide piece and keep going as big as you want.
So what does the Cricut do then? Because I've heard a few people talk about that.
It's the same kind of thing. They're more expensive. I think it's because of the software that comes with them. I may be wrong though. Just kind of like Apple and Windows. Like, you know what you're getting with Apple, it does what it says on the tin. Whereas some of the lesser known branded vinyl cutters, there's probably some more playing around with it.
Yeah, I think from what I understand, I know them as Cricut rather than Cricut, but potatoes, whatever. I believe, and I don't know, again, if somebody knows more about this, then by all means get in touch. They're more for the crafting fraternity, so people who do like scrapbooking, and they do all like the collages and the montages for photographs and stuff like that. So they're limited in space, because they're designed to be sort of put on the dining room table, used, and then put away under the bed or something like that. But they also come with preloaded designs on them. I don't think they're quite so capable of taking a vector file from a computer and putting them in there. They might have upgraded them and updated them since, but that's my understanding of the Cricut.
James Jacobs, Shogun Jimmy's out in the chat, and he just said, "You guys, Richard lost Chris when he mentioned trolley." So remember when you said trolley a while back? Yeah, I have been absent from this entire conversation since then. You're absolutely right, Jimmy.
It's a shopping cart.
You know the wheel on your shopping carts in the supermarket.
Yeah, I understand now, but it took a while.
Yeah. See, these old guys, they're not up with the technology, are they? They can't even get Instagram off of them.
Yeah, them newfangled shopping carts sure are new to me, Richard. Wow. We just don't call them trolleys. That's why I was lost.
You mean this vehicle doesn't have horses in front?
Where
you
are
can buy
milk? Oh.
Holy crap, you can buy milk now? I don't have to milk it? All right. Yeah, hey, you know what? I got a question for you, kind of Christmas theme, and I think we've all done it to some extent, but Richard, I'll ask you, because we did this, this was our topic last year when we did the Christmas show, and it was interesting to see where the conversation went when we did it last year. So I'll start it again this year, and we can maybe briefly kill the last half hour of this thing with this.
Sure.
Christmas presents. Were you involved in making a lot of Christmas presents this year, Richard? I mean, or each one of us. I mean, how do we handle dealing with Christmas and making? I mean, I remember us. talking about this last year, but what about you this year, Richard?
Christmas from, and I remember now actually, just having about 3 seconds to think about this. I remember I gave Joe so much grief last year for his Amazon Christmas shopping.
Yep.
And a few years ago, we did only handmade Christmas. So all presents from Kat were either knitted or crocheted. Everything from me was made out of wood, or thrown together, and all the rest of it. The following year, it was kind of half and half. This year, it is almost exclusively shop bought because I just have not had the time. As I get busier and busier doing my own work stuff, I just don't have the time to make things. I did make for Kat, and I'm not joking, she started asking me for these in July because she knew that there'd be no way I'd get them otherwise. Mostly picture frames. So I've done half a dozen picture frames, and there'll be this other one from my brother's mirror, hopefully. Otherwise you won't get anything for Christmas. And then obviously this etching on the mirror. But apart from that, no, this year everything is shop bought because I just haven't got the time.
No, I understand, because that's what we didn't mention that last year when we talked about this, because this time of year for people that make things is busy no matter what you're doing, whether you're busy with clients like Richard is, or you're busy making Christmas presents. I mean, you're busy, and it just depends on where your time is. I also want to open the question to anybody out that's in the chat that's watching us live now too. The question is basically, did you make Christmas presents this year? Did you go out and buy them? Jamie, what about you? Did you spend a lot of time in the shop making Christmas presents this year, or the Amazon thing because you had to again this year too?
I'll be honest, I didn't do the Amazon thing. I did the Walmart thing once for Carl.
That is an experience.
But I would, luckily I didn't have to go in the store. But was I wearing my onesie when I done it?
Oh God,
I don't know. I can't remember.
Jamie is one of those people that goes to Asda in his pajamas.
Well, you know what? You wouldn't stand out in Walmart. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
But when it comes to making things, I haven't made anything yet. There's still time. But I think if I was to make something, I'll probably get called tight or something at the moment. So, it's still early. I've made a couple of pens, I think. And someone's getting a little personalised dish being sent to her with a few other stuff.
That's nice. Well, I mean, it's actually, if you stop and think about it, it's actually a lot more economical to make the presents as opposed to buying them. In some cases, because I mean, you're still that's totally discounting your time, and your time is money. But if you discount the time, the actual dollars out of your pocket to buy it or actually get the material to make a gift is a lot cheaper than going out and buying one. So there are pluses and downsides to each one, I guess. And Joe, I'm gonna guess I know your answer. What about you, man? Have you had I know you've made some presents. I know you have this year. You didn't buy everything.
No, I've been making presents in the form of glasses. That's literally what I've been doing because I really enjoy doing them. So it was like, well, kill two birds with one stone. I want to have a go at it. So why not actually? What's up?
Got spectacle glasses.
I thought I was trying to
go. Optometrist.
I'll do you some etched glasses if you want, Jamie, so you can't see anything.
Was it?
I can't see anything anyway.
Joe, what started you? Was it what started you down that path? Was it the Game of Thrones thing that you did that got you into doing the glasses, or were you?
It was actually when I was in America earlier on in the year. My friend I was staying with, Shane, just before we went to get the tattoos done, he etched a mirror for the tattoo artist as a gift to give him, and it turned out really good. And he did it with the little sandblaster, and that's what made me want to get the sandblaster. And I did an Instagram mirror earlier in the year, so it looks like an Instagram post when you look at it, kind of thing. And then I wanted to do the Game of Thrones glasses, which obviously I did, and I was impressed with my own work, which I'm not very often like that. But it was because it was something so simple, yet produced a really effective result. And it's like, I want to do more of these. And it's a case of, well, why not give back to my friends that have supported me this year, that have given me gifts as well. So repaying the favour kind of thing. So I've did that. But as far as for family, it's been brought. So I've only got my mum and dad to buy for anyway. So I don't know. I'll probably just give them the money anyway.
give them an Amazon voucher.
Yeah. Buy them a gift voucher for Screwfix or something.
I should do that.
Yeah, Joe, I don't want this.
It's
And
great.
just so people in the chat don't think that Joe's getting shorthanded, because everybody on this podcast, Alan, Richard, Jamie, myself, has one of these, but Joe doesn't. So Joe's present is in the mail. I got Joe a Makers International T-shirt because he's the only one who didn't have one. And these are, Joe, these are actually really nice, and I can't believe how nice they are. And I can't believe that it's coming from me because it's that nice. But quite honest with you,
I might just keep it.
yeah, but no, it's just because I didn't make it. But it's fully
That's
embroidered. So
fantastic.
Merry Christmas to you, my friend.
Just as a little side note there, Joe, if you get through the post just an open, empty jiffy bag, it hasn't got lost. Chris has probably just kept the T-shirt and sent an unsealed bag. No, I posted it. It was.
I'm going to treat him like he treats his parents. I'm just going to send him an Amazon gift card for $20 and go, there you go.
I had said before we went live that the glasses that I sent to America, like I've insured them for $2,000.
Oh,
So
God.
they should have a nice little tax bill as a Christmas present as well.
Yeah, there'll be no tariff bills attached to that whatsoever.
But keeping on the the Christmassy theme and all the rest of it, I'd kind of quite like to ask a question of all of you and our listeners as well on the kind of the topic of making gifts for other people. Do you think it's nice to receive a handmade project, or would you rather have something which was bought? And if you'd rather have something handmade, do you think that there is kind of because you're a maker, do you think people, a maker receiving a made present makes more of that gift than somebody who doesn't appreciate it being made? Does that make sense, or did I just completely fluff that question up?
No, that makes a lot of sense. And and my answer is probably going to be the same as both Jamie's and Joe's. But so I tell you what, I'll reserve it. You guys answer your first.
Yeah, I think I definitely think a maker would definitely appreciate the time and effort that's gone into a handmade gift. For example, if I was to give my sister a bowl or something that I've turned, she'd probably look at it and go, "Oh, great," and just put it on the table and just walk away. Whereas if I was to give it to my uncle or something like that, he's not so much a wood turner, but he does do making of some sort. Or even my mum, for example, who does a lot of cake decorating, and she spends hours making leaves and flowers and things like that for wedding cakes. I'll give my mum a bowl, and she'll sit there for ages looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she can appreciate what it takes to appreciate what it took to actually make it. The time and the effort.
Joe?
So,
Well, I've got kind of like a different look on it. Definitely the appreciation is higher when gifting to another maker or receiving from another maker, because like Jamie was saying, you've got that true appreciation of knowing what's gone into making it. But I always feel awkward in making a gift for somebody who makes things, because I feel like I'll lock them in to what I've made. And what I mean by that is, let's say I made Richard a headphone stand. Now Richard won't want to make a headphone stand for himself because he might think that he'll be like shunning the gift that I've made for him. But he might have had a brilliant idea that he's always wanted to make, and now he can't make it because somebody's gifted it to him instead.
Gotcha.
I worry about that kind of thing. So that's kind of where the glasses was a safe bet, because it's like, I haven't seen any of you do that kind of thing. I don't imagine you having that want in your mind, or I've always wanted to do this for myself. So I thought that was safe, as opposed to, say, if I sent Jamie a bowl that's done with this, now Jamie will feel like, oh, if I ever go at doing it, Joe will think I don't like the one that he made. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah. But Joe, I can assure you that by making me a glass, you have saved me money, because therefore, nowhere in the future will I ever need to go buy a sandblaster to etch glass, because so it's not only a gift, it's a savings. So thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
time to put Joe on the spot. Now he was just saying that. What was we talking about not so long ago about square glasses and glass etching?
What do you mean? Oh yeah,
Yeah, I got a laser, and we were talking about glass etching.
yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
Have you tried it yet?
No,
I tried it.
but you gave me a glass
So he doesn't have to try it now.
So I have to try it.
So
I'd
you
already
ruined
made
it.
the glass though, so that was kind
Yeah,
of
but you're talking about getting a laser to do glass etching.
true.
So, has anyone answered this in the chat? Sorry, Chris. I'm curious as to what other. I suspect that similar answers are going to come through, but
Well, I tell you what, Jamie, you search the chat, see if we've got any remarks there, and I'll give you mine.
Oh, Sophie's very grateful. She said that her glass is perfect for Bailey's, Joe. Thank you.
Horrible Baileys. Don't know why anybody would want to drink the stuff. Any time of year.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, don't tell my wife that, Joe.
Mike Atkinson says handmade because that comes from the heart, not the store.
And you know what? My answer to that question, if I can get it in, is because it's not easy. Trust me.
sorry, mate.
No, that's quite all right. Okay. You know, I automatically assume, and I know probably wrongly, so that when people are making handmade gifts for somebody, see, because when I make the gifts that and by the way, I made 42 Christmas gifts this year for my wife to give away.
Wow.
That's a 4 and a 2. That's a lot of Christmas. That's a lot of making that I've had to do in the past 3 weeks, but I got it done. Today was the last one. Yay. But I'll tell you what I did. And I noticed it as I got into like the 20th one, you know, as opposed to, oh my God, here's the next one. Okay, I can cross this. Every time I was making it, I knew who I was making it for. I knew the name that was attached to what I was making. So I was thinking about that person when I was making it. Now, I am assuming, and probably wrongfully so, because when I make gifts for people, I think about them when I'm making it, because they would like this, they won't like this. And when I get a handmade gift given to me, I assume that person not only took the time to do it, but they were thinking of me when they did it. And so that means a lot more. That means a lot. I don't care if it turns out to be, you know, utter rubbish. It's just the fact that they spent the time to do that, and I know they were thinking about me when they did it, or at least I'm assuming they did. So I'll leave it at that, because that was the happy note that I like to assume and believe, and whether that's true or not, I guess it doesn't really matter. That's the way it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Sure. I mean, I'm a huge believer in the fact that it's in the giving, not the receiving of gifts and presents and all the rest of it. First and foremost, I think Christmas as a celebration, regardless of your religious or political inclinations, that period of the year has gone more commercial than in previous years. I'll leave it at that. And Joe, the fact that, from my perspective anyway, it's having a present given to me that's been handmade. The glass etching actually has rather than made me not want to do something like that, it's actually had the opposite effect. I've actually looked at that and gone, this is something I really want to do. This is something that I would like to have a go at. So it's, you know, it's like, it's not a case of copying your idea or being locked out of being able to do it myself. It's done completely opposite. And I want to now dive in, and that's why I'm saying drag knives and vinyl cutters and things like that. And, you know, that's my view anyway. So assuming you've got time to make this stuff.
Well, I just think it's awesome. And you know what? If we have, we've got some shout outs to do. But I wanted to take the time to say Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas to all of you, to you. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful holiday. I honestly do. After the holiday's over, I won't give a damn. But as of right now, I've got that warm, cheery feeling, helped by winter lager that allows me to that allows me to feel kindness in my heart at the moment. So for everybody out in the chat, for Richard, Jamie, Joe, Merry Christmas, guys. Hope you have a good holiday.
And you too, and everyone out there as well. Definitely. Do you guys have any shout outs this week of anyone you wish to mention or put out into the limelight?
I've got a good one for Christmas. It's from Zach at ZH Fabrications. Now, Zach does do some brilliant work, and I've been wanting to give him a shout out for a while now. One from a while back was his industrial C-clamp bench that he did. I thought that was fantastic. But for Christmas, he's welded horseshoes together in the shape of a Christmas tree. And
I've seen that thumbnail.
It's one of those, it's like, you don't have to be an amazing welder to do something like this. So I could see it being somebody's first welding project, just to have a go tack them all together. But he like hangs baubles in each of the openings where the horseshoes are, and it just looks brilliant. So
Awesome.
there's a link to his channel in the description. As with all the others, so get over there, get subscribed, get notifications, all that stuff. It's a brilliant video. Check out his other stuff if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah, Zach does great work. He does great videos. And Joe, I really like that video too. That was really, I thought it was unique and it was cool and it turned out looking great. I mean, I love that.
Is great. I wish I could buy horseshoes like that though. Just go into the hardware store and just pick them up.
You know, you have to go buy a horse. You have to go buy the horseshoe game. I need 12 games of horseshoes, please. I mean, what you do with the metal spikes afterwards is, you know, but that's.
Have you got not any stables near you or anything like that?
I should be able to, but then you got to like clean all the shit off it and stuff. I'd sooner just buy them clean plastic bags.
Wine vinegar.
Yeah, drop them in vinegar, Joe. If it cleans the rust,
it tastes better than Bailey's anyway. Put it like that.
Yeah. Chris, save us. What are you watching?
Oh my gosh! Well, Richard, I know, and because we've already had this conversation, you've been a busy little elf, and you look the part today. You look the part today, by the way.
I've got the antlers as well, but you can't see those.
I purposely did not put on my elf t-shirt today because I didn't want to upstage you. But you've been busy, and so I know you don't have a shout out today. But even though you do have somebody you want to mention, so I have 2 shout outs today, if I could, guys.
Of course.
My first shout out, and I love this guy, I really do. Rich McNatt did a video, and he titled it, "I'm going to call him Fred." And that's all I'm going to say about the video. Go watch Rich McNatt video he put out earlier in the week called "I'm Going to Call Him Fred." First of all, the project he was working on came out absolutely awesome, but Rich has a sense of humor that you have to appreciate, and it shines in this video. So, Rich, well done. The other one that I want to mention was just a piece of gorgeous work that I thought was, I just fell in love with it. I don't know why. Cy Mars, Cy's Corner. Did you guys see the video that she put out on the Intarsia that she did for the reindeer? And the video, believe it or not, it's called Reindeer Intarsia. I mean, I know, go figure. But if you have the opportunity, go check out Cy Mars, Cy's Corner. She did a Reindeer Intarsia, and that reindeer came out looking awesome. I mean, she did great work on it, so I wanted to give her some love. So there you go.
Yeah, very nice it was.
Excellent. Jamie?
And me, yes.
You, yes.
My shout out goes to a Mr. Carl Toth. Now, surely everyone's familiar with the talents of Carl Toth, and if you're not, you can go and check out his latest calendar. Anyway, he made a bowl that is 32 inches wide and 6 inches tall, and it's titled a huge segmented bowl. And wow, it is awesome! It is absolutely incredible. It's fucking massive.
Is it like king massive, not queen
King.
massive, but king, like king size? Wow.
Yeah. King massive.
King massive.
King massive.
The Queen will be glad to hear that because she would really want.
Am I going to have to edit all of that? Was all.
I was waiting for you to come in with the whole 36 by 6, but never mind. It's all right.
And if his lathe was in China, it would have been a Fu King.
Oh my God. Let's wrap this up. Hey, congratulations to Charles Gant for the giveaway from Lizard Blanks. That's an awesome prize, and that was fun to give away. I'm glad we were able to do that. I'm sorry we couldn't keep it ourselves, but I guess it's Christmas, so it's the giving, right, Richard?
Absolutely, it's always the giving. No, it is. It absolutely is. And if you say otherwise, then you are just a nasty, grinchy little Scrooge person. Is what it is. Okay.
Okay.
But so there. Anyway, I as you've already said, Chris, I've been mega busy. I've been like the king elf of busyness this last few weeks or so. So I have not watched any YouTube at all. I've barely even looked on the app or had it on my laptop because I've been working long hours. But I do want to do a shout out to make it Soph, and hopefully Soph, you're listening live. If you're not, if you're listening to this later, or even if you never hear this at all, if you're anything into making and you want a fresh perspective on things, go and look at Soph's channel. She does some just insanely awesome stuff, and actually we had her on the show, and that was an awesome show as well. But when she was on, she said that she didn't have a scroll saw and that she was looking to get a scroll saw, and I literally leapt on the opportunity to
get rid of yours.
Get rid of mine. So, and I think people genuinely thought I was joking, but you know, it's not. I'm not a fan of scroll saw work personally. I need the space more than anything else. I don't actually begrudge or hate people that scroll saw, even though I do think they're slightly mentally. But so anyway, I gave my scroll saw to Soph, and I got a lovely little letter from her back and a sticker to say thank you. And it was nice getting a little. Do you know what it's like when you get a little handwritten note in the post? It means so much more than and you know, it's like a homemade given Christmas gift that the effort went into, rather than just a printed template letter or something like that. So go and check out Soph, and you're absolutely.
Can I just add something to that? Right, I beat you on the router contest as well. Why don't you give her your router as well?
Because shipping's really expensive on those.
Well, I'll apologize to everybody that I've given a typewritten letter to, but I'll tell you why. Because my handwritten notes are practically ineligible because my handwriting just absolutely is just the worst. So I usually type things out and then I sign my name. Richard, is that count for anything, or is that okay?
No, I'm the same. If it's not computer or typewritten, then you might as well just send a blank piece of paper, because there's no way of me you understanding what I'm trying to communicate. So,
we should all have been doctors in a former life. That's the deal, because nobody can read doctors' handwriting either.
God, can you imagine the life expectancy if we were all doctors? That's not even worth thinking about,
no.
is it? Just like, no!
Well, I don't know about you, but in my case, I probably wouldn't be here today. I'd be dead.
Awesome.
All right, well, we should rock on. We should rock on. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yes, absolutely. It does, wrap up the show nicely with a little bow and some jingly bells, and pop it under the tree for Christmas. So if you are still with us and you're listening live, don't disappear off, because we're here for about another gazillion years. If you are listening post haste on your favourite podcast software, then have a fantastic Christmas, or have had a fantastic Christmas if you're listening afterwards. So from me, happy Christmas, and I think from everyone else as well. So you take care.
Merry Christmas, everyone. See you next week.
Merry Christmas, everyone.